What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Survivor Now podcast. And for myself and Tori, welcome back to Behind a Computer Screen. We're going to get into a little bit of where we've been, where we went last week. But we are back for the Survivor 48 pre-show. New setup for me. I'm sitting now, so I got a swivel chair that I don't have to stand up anymore and worry about passing out because I'm standing for an hour. No, but I can't do this all alone. The full crew is back here today. Joining me are my wonderful team of panel. I can't even talk today. Team of analysts. Yeah, that made no sense. Tori, the teacher, instantly was like, grammar, difficult, Randy. But I am joined by Tori, Ollie, and Avery. Hello, everybody. How are we doing today?
Doing well, Randy. How are you doing?
I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. I instantly had to pull up the side of the screen to make sure that I have everything ready to go. It's been a couple weeks since I've actually been here on the stream. So also, if you're watching, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all of that fun stuff. We've got people in our live chat already. Roy is here. Good evening, team. Hello, hello. Anthony is here. Anthony was on the after show last week. Great job, Anthony. Thanks for joining us. This is a very pinnacle episode that will determine the end of the game for the season. And then Jay also in the chat. Ayo, we got Gabe just popped in. This episode determines the strong alliance steamrolls or is broken up. And then Jay, stop flattering us. The Fantastic Four are back together. Yes, indeed. Well, team, I missed last week. Myself and Tori, we were in Atlanta. Ollie, thank you for running everything behind the scenes. We'll get into that a little bit more here later on in the episode, but we didn't have an icebreaker last week. So I've got a good one for you guys today as people continue to trickle in here before we start talking about tonight's episode. So let's get to it. All right, it is time to get to an icebreaker. And really, before I tell you what we're doing today, Amy says, I just voted on the poll that popped up. Yes, we're doing polls a little bit different. We've got a poll for you guys. Go ahead and check that out. It's about last week's episode and what we could be seeing tonight. And our panel here will discuss the results after our icebreaker. So Survivor 50 has been something that everyone's been chatting about. And lately, from Inside Survivor, we've started to see some rumors of who could be cast on 50. So I've got 10 names here of people who are highly rumored to be on season 50. And you guys are going to be put on the cutting room floor. You have to keep 5 of them and cut 5 of them without knowing who's coming next.
Oh, God.
So
I'm so nervous.
Are you guys ready?
But I love this. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let us know. Play along in the chat whether you'd be keeping these people or cutting these people. So first name up, someone who is very popular, Mr. Jonathan Penner has been rumored to be keep or cut.
Cut.
You say cut? Oh my gosh. I guess
I'm gonna have to go with Ollie on this one.
I'm in the minority, I guess. But I also, it's so hard not knowing who's next. So
exactly.
Sure.
Wow. Okay, so we're cutting Penner. All right, next up, Elizabeth Hasselbeck. So she was on Survivor Australia.
She was the sweetheart of Survivor Australia. However,
Australian Outback, I guess.
Australian Outback. What do you think, Ollie? What's on your mind? I mean, you're obviously thinking something.
People are saying cut. People are screaming cut.
People are screaming.
Do we go with the chat?
I was leaning towards cut.
I mean, I'm trying to not put my political opinions into this, but cut.
Okay.
Cut.
I was leaning towards cut anyway. So
I'm going to cut for Whoopi Goldberg.
You guys have already used 2 of your cuts. Okay, next up.
Wait, Randy, we only get 5 cuts.
5 cuts. 5 keeps, 5 cuts. Yeah. Next up from season 42, Jonathan Young.
I liked Jonathan a lot.
I love him.
These are all highly rumored names, by the way. I'm not just throwing
I
these
want
out.
to keep him.
I say keep.
When I met him, he scared the crap out of me, though. I turned around and he's right there. I was like,
oh my gosh. Yeah, wait, I wonder let's come back to this later maybe because I don't want to waste time. But I wonder, do you know how tall he is? I don't know.
Extremely, because I'm
Extremely
5'2", and
Okay,
he was
that's what I thought.
his hand was on my shoulder in the picture, and it was like huge. Like I literally was like,
Hercules. I think
Let's see what people are saying.
we'll look it up later.
Gemini says cut.
I think we should
Anthony
keep
White
him. I don't want to waste the
I
cut.
say keep as well. Yeah, I say keep.
You don't want to waste it.
Ollie,
and I
you're
will
being
win.
overruled here.
I have no opinion on this one.
All right, so you're keeping Jonathan Young, your first keep for Survivor 50. Next up from this season, say
Keep.
We need her.
Keep.
Okay, so you're keeping 2 people from the new era thus
So
far.
we're 2-2 right now.
Yeah.
All right, next up from Australian Outback, Heroes versus Villains. It is Colby.
Oh no, cut. Never mind.
Wait, come on, keep. I love Colby.
No.
Guys, I don't want to be the deciding factor. I'm nervous.
See.
I'm like, who else could be in this right now?
See, as soon as you said, you knew who I was thinking of. So then when you gave me the other option, I was like,
You're obviously
yeah,
thinking Jerry. But
yeah, Jerry over Colby.
But think about Like, what if Jerry comes up later? Colby and Jerry. Like, we need both of them.
Yeah, but what if he doesn't?
True.
I think we should just cut him. I'm gonna be
Cutting. Wow. Cutting Colby Donaldson. Okay, so you've got 3 cuts right now, 2 keeps. Next up, we saw him in Atlanta, Ozzy, coming back to play again.
Keep.
I feel like I see everyone, though.
Ollie looks so mad right now.
Great, we get to see Ozzy flop again for the 5th
Okay,
time.
Ollie, do you want to decide the next one?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You can
Okay,
decide.
next up,
Victoria's
you're 3-3 right now. Next up, she's competing on Survivor Australia versus the world, Sari Fields.
Okay, this is where I struggle because I love Sari. But again, I don't need to see her for like 5th, 6th time.
Okay, see, for this, I don't know why I feel differently about Sari versus Ozzy. Maybe it's because we saw her on Traders, and she won it. But I think for Sari, I'm more on Ozzy's side of thinking like we've seen it. She hasn't won though. She hasn't won.
But this thing, I love Sari. Love Sari.
Absolutely.
But my same reasonings for Ozzy. Seen them plenty of times now. Like for me, like the maximum is like a third. Like no.
But are we cut? Do we say cut for Queen Sari?
Yeah, sorry.
Wow.
I'm
Are we
sorry.
cutting?
You, Sari,
we did give Ollie the choice this round, so
That is true. I totally.
All right, so we're cutting Sari. That is your 4th cut. You have 3 people remaining. You have 2 keeps, 1 cut. Okay, next up, Stephanie LaGrossa.
Keep. Please.
I'll be nice. I'll say keep.
Favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, are we just going keep? Yeah, we're going
Whatever they
keep.
want.
I don't want to influence everyone.
All right, you're at 4 cuts.
This is our decision, guys.
So far, you've cut Pinner, you've cut Elizabeth Hasselbeck, you've cut Colby Donaldson, you've cut Sari, you've kept Jonathan Young, Say, Ozzy, and Stephanie LaGrossa. You've got 2 people left. Your next person is Christian Hubicki.
I'd cut.
Cut.
I say cut as well.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
I'm
Here's
not
the
a
thing,
Christian
I wouldn't be
Hubicki
mad if he's on it, but he's not high on my personal list of players that I thought of as wanting.
We got a lot of people in the chat right now. Anthony's saying keep. Hollow says
nice.
Keep. Music for the Soul says keep.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, it looks like they're cutting.
Guys, we apologize. We have a little bit of priorities with our personal lists.
Yeah.
And your final keep to add on to Jonathan, Say, Ozzy, and Stephanie is Chrissy Hoffbeck.
Oh, okay, I'm fine with that. I am happy with that.
Okay,
That's fine by me.
I'm fine with that.
Great job, team. How do you feel like you did?
I think we did okay.
I think we did okay. I think the 3 of us have vastly different opinions of who we personally want on 50. So I think we need a separate podcast just all talking about that.
Like who we want.
We'll get that, don't worry.
Yeah.
Sorry for the coughing. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of fun. When you guys watch the graphic back, you're going to be messaging and be like, "Oh, I wish we did this." All right, let's get to Survivor 48. Tori, real quick, we were in Atlanta last week. We got to meet a lot of the cast. and we got to watch last week's episode with them. So when we talk about what happened last week, you know, it feels really personal for us because we got to hear their reactions and everything during the commercials. What really stood out to you last week that you're looking forward to seeing tonight?
So are you talking about specifically what I saw in the episode or in general, like from meeting the players? Oh, I can't hear him. Shoot.
Randy.
What are you excited to build off on going into tonight's episode?
Going into tonight's episode. Okay, that's what I thought. So I am excited. Well, okay. What I wanted to see more of in last episode was Mitch's idea come to fruition, where he wanted to get his old tribe back together. So I wish that I could say that I would like to see that develop, but I think that was the only chance.
Yeah, I think it's a little far gone.
Yeah.
That's not happening, obviously. That was just like a very brief idea on Mitch's part. Good idea, but didn't come to fruition. Anyway, what I am excited about is finally seeing a big move, I think, going against the Strong Alliance. Not that I don't like the people in the Strong Alliance. They're all lovely, but I think I'm ready for a mix-up.
Yeah.
Does anyone else feel like we're not getting a big move? Because I'm with you, Tori. It's been the pre-merge was nothing but big move after big move after big move. And then the last couple episodes, obviously the Cedric vote out, the Say vote out, very run of the mill. The Chrissy vote out last week, run of the mill. Props to production and how they've been handling it so far, making us think, oh, well, maybe there's a chance that, you know, someone flips on Camilla or someone flips on Shaheen. Like they're doing what they can, but it's been pretty clear-cut votes so far. I think it could be another clear-cut one tonight. I feel like the preview that we got for tonight's episode is leaning so heavily once again on David causing chaos that once again, I feel like that would be too obvious if it happens. And so I'm almost expecting, and I pray this does not happen, but I'm almost expecting like my girl Mary to go home. Someone who has not really got a strong edit thus far, possibly being someone who gets. Ollie, do you want to add on? Because you look very frustrated.
Yeah, she's with David now, but I don't know. Ollie, what do you think?
Hateful. How dare you put that into the universe?
I love Mary, so I don't know what you're mad at.
I'm already having to deal with everyone on the thing wanting to like not have my draft intact, and I've already had to deal with that today. But yeah, I feel like there's gonna be some sort of shift. I just don't know what that shift is. I do have this feeling like something's gonna rock. But it's that thing of I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that clear cut, but I also don't feel like it's going to be that dramatic of a move, if that makes sense. Like I feel like it's going to be somewhere in this middle of it's going to be
maybe like a Mitch potentially,
possibly a Mitch, but like something where it's like it really hurts one person. Like that's what that's where I am. Yeah.
Avery, what are we thinking? What side are you leaning? Camilla? Okay. I mean, we could see Camilla this week.
Personally, I obviously don't know if it's going to happen tonight. And if it doesn't happen tonight, I feel like they're going to figure out those two at some point, and one of them's going. Like, I feel like, yes, they're very good at hiding it, but I think that, like, that would be a really big move if it's figured out. But I don't know. Like, I also kind of feel like it's going to be somewhere in the middle tonight. Not necessarily a massive blindside, but not necessarily just like, oh, she hasn't really been doing anything or he hasn't really been doing anything. So, like, let's just get him out. I don't know. I feel like it's going to also be somewhere in the middle. I'm going to agree with Ollie on that.
Yeah, I mean, if at the end of the day, if you look at kind of where we're at with the final 9, we're running out of people who are going to be like easy moves. It's just about, I mean, you guys have been lighting up the chat right now, and I'm trying to keep up as best as I can. So keep it coming. Wild West adds in, I would love a Mary blindside. Gemini adds in, agree. I think Mary is going.
I would love everyone to look at my ring right now. That's how I feel.
Wild West, Mary can kick rocks. And then also adds in, I'm backing Randy. Let's manifest that. Yeah, I mean,
hateful.
Wait, can I just say
I'm about to go unfollow Will.
I think for a couple weeks, ever since like the Say and Cedric vote out, I have been wanting a big move. So I've been kind of like predicting that, hoping that it's going to happen. And that was like my prediction last week. I'm like, okay, we didn't see a big move last week, so it's got to happen this week. So I could see it going that way. But I really don't. I mean, as much as people are saying, like, it's probably Mary, like, all of a sudden she's with David. Like, they're like a super tight duo, and she's in the strong, now 6, I guess. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be Mary if it is like an easy vote.
Personally, I just feel like that's not that big of a blindside.
I mean,
that's really not like a huge move. Like, if there's going to be a big move, let's be real, it's not going to be Mary.
I mean, the thing with Mary, too, we keep saying and we're going to get to David. That's kind of the topic of our first poll here, is we keep seeing in the preview, David is stirring up drama. David wants to make a move against Camilla to weaken that Camilla and Shaheen connection. And now he's starting to put the pieces together about why does Kyle not want Camilla to go home? Maybe they're closer to each other than I thought. Tori, I love the fact that you brought up the connection between Mary and David, because I totally forgot about that. And now it actually makes me feel stronger. So sorry, Ollie, that Mary might be the one going home, because David seems too obvious. And if David starts causing a lot of drama, maybe Mary is that kind of, maybe she's going to take the bullet on this one. And if we can't get David out because he wins immunity, which I think could be a very big possibility heading into tonight's episode, maybe let's take out Mary, who has proven to be sort of his number one in the past couple of weeks.
I can understand that. I think it also depends on that alliance if they really do want to kind of cut David out of it, because I think that's where it'll be. If they still want to have a working relationship with David, then I don't see them going for Mary. Like, and when I say they, I kind of mean Joe and Eva. I feel like Joe and Eva are going to be the ones in this position. Even potentially Kyle, but I also feel like Kyle's going to show his cards at some point, and that's going to ruin his relationship. Like, I also just have this feeling that if David or Kyle, if one of them gets to the end and one of them's on jury, the other one's not getting their jury vote. I feel like there's going to be something going on there.
I agree with you, though. I do think that after last week that people may start to realize how he's like feeling about Camilla. Like, I feel like people are starting to be like, okay, why was he so pressed about it? Like, because he was literally saying like, no, let's not vote her, and they're like, why?
Right. Well,
Like,
David was already on to them. Like, he episode or the preview for this week's episode, one of the two or maybe both, he like literally said, he's like, they must be working together.
Yeah.
They're together. So yeah, he's definitely on to them.
Well, let's see. So the poll that I posted on YouTube, something new that we're doing, and thank you guys, everyone who has voted on this poll. The question was David in the right for wanting to cut the tie between Camilla and Shaheen? Or is it a situation of a little bit too soon? We were talking about that last week, about when is the right time to make a move. And it's a tough thing to talk about when you're referring to the new era, because it's such a fast-paced game nowadays. It's such a crucial moment when you make that first big move. So the choices that the fans had, and I'm going to end the poll now. Yes, why not? Or no, push too hard. What did you guys think? Avery, go ahead.
Why not?
Yeah,
I mean,
why not make the move?
I mean, it wasn't like necessarily stupid. Like, if he's looking at it, like, you could see anything in any way when you're out there. So I wouldn't say no, but I also wouldn't say like, yeah, that's genius. Like, they've been working together this whole time. Like, they haven't. So
yeah,
why not?
I mean, on the flip side of things as well, Ollie, if you know you have this core 6 alliance, right, and you know this is rubbing some people the wrong way. You have Joe, who's like, I don't know if we should make this move. Obviously, you have Kyle, who is very against this move. Is that something that David should feed into? Like, we kind of saw it, and Tori brought it up too, where he's like, okay, you guys are working together now. Like, why would I want to make this move even more? Or should he have backed off? and not put a big target on his back, because obviously the discussion went from what could have been an easy vote to now David's name is getting brought up.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Jay's point here in the chat. I don't think he was wrong for wanting to separate them, but the way he went about it was wrong. Because I think it was more so the sense of, and I agree with Avery, like the fact that he kind of could clock where kind of Camilla was being, like, I think that's a really good strategic view to see. But I think he almost tried to, and I'm not saying he did, but it gave off the impression of almost strong arming. Like he was really trying to force people to do this plan. And I think that's where it kind of came loose at the threads. So that's kind of where I kind of sit on it. I do think he had good intuition. I just think his execution on trying to get people to go onto his side could have been better.
Tori, which side are you sitting on after hearing David speak last week about, you know, when Ron Clark asked him about that moment and hearing him explain himself and be like, you know, some people out on the island know a little bit more than what they show in the edit and everything. What is your take about this entire situation? Because David has put himself in a tough position when he could have just sat back, played it simple, you know, Chrissy goes home, doesn't rock the boat, or was this something that he really needed to focus on?
So I'm kind of with Avery and Ollie for the most part. I think that he, like Ollie said, was correct in pinpointing the two of them, and maybe not even just pinpointing them as a duo, but understanding that these are two really smart players that could be threats later on, especially once we get to like further individual challenges that require like not so much strength, but like are more puzzly, right? Like Camilla's really good at that stuff. So from like a challenge standpoint, that could be a thing. But then also just like their strategic mind, like they have the ability to pull something off, like with the people that they have left. So I think that he was right to pinpoint them. But yeah, I think that, I mean, I think he's likely going to be a target this week because of all the things that we saw last week. I don't know that he's going to be the person that's going home because, like y'all were saying, I think it's really obvious. And I mean, I don't know if it's going to be that obvious, but he seems like he's kind of like really trying to call the shots.
Yeah, David seems like he's ready to kind of step up in that, like, I'm running this show type position, which a lot of times people try to avoid that position because because of the target. It makes the game so much more difficult to navigate when everybody is watching you. You could be the best player out there, but if you have, if you're kind of leading things and you're leading the direction of the votes, eventually people are going to look at you as the person they have to knock off. And, you know, at the end of the day, yes, you want to play an incredible game, but you want to be subtle about it and not be that person that everyone's like, hey, we got to get this person out of here because they're dominating right now and controlling everything. So David, I mean, I think we're going to see in tonight's episode really needs to be careful about how he navigates things moving forward. I posted another poll for you guys in the chat. Oh, I forgot to share the results of the last one. Sorry, this is the first week we're doing this. You guys didn't really help us out, though, because out of 20 people who voted, 10 and 10, 50% said yes, David is making the right decision, and 50% said no, he should have waited. And the next poll that I put up, I'm going to give you guys a few more minutes to vote on. But the question is transitioning over to Eva. You know, Eva had a very good episode last week. She won individual immunity, knocking off Mary in what was a really impressive showdown. I feel like I would suck at that challenge, like absolutely be awful at it. Ollie, you'd probably be great at it.
Ollie would love it.
With your dance background. Tori, you have dance background as well. Avery, didn't you cheer? Yeah, I would be the first one out immediately. I'm not even going to deny
at least we know we'd all beat Randy.
Less than 20 seconds, I promise you. Probably less than 10 seconds. With you. But great episode for Eva. It seems like she's in I want to say decent position, right? I don't think she's part of this strong six per se, but I feel like I keep hearing her name come up as like a target as well. It started with Charity when Charity obviously brought up, look, we all love Eva, but no one wants to sit next to Eva at the end of this game. she's got an incredible story. She is a very strong woman. I mean, doing stuff, showing the men out there that, look, just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I can't hang with you.
Mm-hmm.
She's playing a really good social game as well. She's got a number one ally who is, in my opinion, not going to turn on her. That's not going to break up unless she turns on him, which I don't know if we see that. It could happen, but I don't personally know if we see it. Tori, I'm going to go to you first. The question that I posted that we're going to get to is, will Eva be a member of the final three? Do we think she has a clear route to the final three? But I also want to elaborate on that as we break this down. And how do you see Eva's game right now?
So I actually have a lot of thoughts about this because from an edit standpoint, it looks like she's going to go as far as the final three. But from like a player standpoint, I wonder when they're going to wake up and realize this girl is super strong. She's a part of a really strong alliance. And not only that, but a really strong pair. And as you said, she has an ally that is never going to turn on her, in my opinion. Unless he finds out about her secret advantage that she's choosing not to tell about. But I think that could like maybe cause him to not trust her as much, but I still don't think that he's really going to turn on her. But anyway, I just wonder when everybody's going to wake up and realize what a big threat that she is. Not that I want her out of the game. I feel like every time I say somebody, I say that because I really do like everyone. But yeah, so I mean, I don't, from a player standpoint, if they like kind of realize all of this, I don't think she's making it that far, but it's hard to say because of the edit. Also, let me just throw it out there. This is not related to your question, but the name tag thing from the like her finding the advantage. Did we all notice that there were name tags at the advantage?
Yes. Okay. So this is how we can touch on this just a little bit as well as we discuss Eva. I saw so many people in the Survivor community talk about this is rigged. Let me explain a couple things. There are lawyers on the island, the United States at least. I don't know if it's the same with other countries. They have very strict rules against, when it comes to game shows and stuff, rigging it for certain contestants. Now, I saw a lot of people say that the way Jeff was wording, the reward and everything, they intended on whoever wins this immunity, you're going to get an advantage. And they just didn't do a great job of explaining that. I didn't even take it as that. I took it as they probably did a random draw to see where they were sitting, much like they do with challenges, where they're like, we're going to draw for placement. That's how I took it. Like, I didn't even think about, oh, this kind of seems rigged. I did notice that the bull was sitting right in front of her, but I was like, man, the Survivor gods are in her favor, and she got lucky, and they sat her there. But I could also see the argument that everyone's been making about, she won the challenge. That was intended for the winner. I think it's a lesson learned for CBS. It does look bad. It doesn't look great. If you're going to do that, I think Jeff Probst needs to come out and say, if you win immunity, there is potential for you to have an advantage in this game.
I think so too. Also, like, I just have feelings about leaving a free advantage for like the top 4 people in general, not even just like the person that just won. I'm like, okay, so you've sent the top 4 people to go get an advantage potentially, and it happens to be the person that actually won immunity that day, so she's double safe. And then also like the lowest people are losing.
Yeah, they had to go lose a vote.
That kind of upset me, but not because Eva's the one that found it, but just like the general idea of it all.
I mean, Gabe says right here, making the rich richer. What was her advantage again? Because I'm not gonna lie, I forgot about the advantage.
We'll find out tonight.
We'll find it. Yeah, she has to like sneak out.
Oh, she has to sneak out. That's right. Yeah, it was chaos. Don't get mad at me today for my memory. It was chaos last week. Ollie, Avery, how are you guys seeing Eva's game right now? Do you see her as someone who can go really deep now that she does have a potential opportunity for an advantage? She still has to sneak out of camp. She wants to keep that to herself. And she won immunity. She's going to be strong in these challenges, and she's got a good social game, all of that. Where do you see Eva kind of placing here?
Personally, based off like the edit and everything, I think she's going to make it to the final 3. I just feel like she's Although I feel like she's kind of in a mediocre place right now, because like I don't think she's in the best place because people are aware of her and Joe, and they like are very out there with like we are a duo. I just feel like I think she's gonna make it. I do agree with you, Tori, though, that I do think like why are people not like looking at her like a massive threat right now? Like I also have been like sitting here watching the show and I'm like, hello, like I love Eva so much, don't get me wrong, like I really truly love her, and I'm still sitting here like, guys, open your eyes, why are you not seeing this? But I do think she's gonna make it to the end, like they're this far in and they're still not looking at her like she's some massive threat. So
the tough thing with that is if she makes it to the end, I don't see anyone beating her. I think that's too incredible of a story. So like that's the weird thing with this question. For me personally, if she makes final 3, she is winning this game. Like that's your winner of Survivor 48. Ollie, am I looking too deep into this? Am I, going a bit crazy here and saying that?
No, I don't know. I'm very unsure of Eva in the sense of I just don't know where she's going to land. I personally don't see her making the end, but that's just because I feel like I think we're kind of almost getting set up for like a hero boot. Like she's going to get this she's going to get boot and she's going to get all the hero music and stuff. I also feel like this is a prediction for tonight because she has to go get her advantage. I think someone is going to clock her. I don't think she's going to be able to get away with it scot-free. I really don't. I think someone's going to clock her and someone's going to notice her go away. Or at least she's going to tell the wrong person. Or when she comes back, someone's there. Like,
I feel like they always do. Like, low-key, like, when you have to walk away, like, how are you going to... And also,
I wouldn't be...
when you, like, it's like when you go to, like, the restroom and stuff, the cameras don't follow you. The cameras are going to be following her, so you know something is going down. Just like behind the scenes standpoint.
It's also, don't forget that there's absolutely no light out there, and it's like pitch black. So I know if I was trying in the middle of the night, I'd be like, shoot.
They're literally like hitting things.
Like you'd be like, Randy, you okay? And I'd be like, no, I'm just trying to that's a branch. Yeah.
Straight into a tree, like fall right back. They're like, oh, medical.
I'd be knocked out. A coconut would fall on my head. I'd be the first person to get concussed via coconut, and that would be best case scenario. All right. Well, I mean, we have you guys answering in the chat. The final result, I'm going to end the poll now. Will Eva be the final 3? 53% say yes. 46 say no. So we are very, very split this evening. We're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, I think it's time to start talking about who we think might be in trouble heading into tonight's episode. We'll be right back.
Think you're the most knowledgeable Survivor superfan? Well, you can put that to the test with our Fantasy Survivor game. Welcome to Bracketology, fantasy sports for reality TV. We provide fantasy football-style games for your favorite shows like Survivor and many more. We also have bracket-style elimination challenges. Set your picks once for the whole season to see how your prediction skills fared. And don't forget to check out the season extras like contestant info, where you can see all the bios of each contestant, and our scoring recaps that are published each episode. Download the Bracketology mobile app or play on your computer at fantasy.bracketology.tv. It's entirely free to play, and you can win some awesome prizes. Good luck.
There's a little bit of a lag on my end, so I don't know how it came across. But don't forget to check your Bracketology fantasy teams. Right now, Logan is winning the fantasy competition, and he won last year. So he's looking to be the first 2-time winner. He's looking to get another cameo, another custom pop figure, another package from Katie Tedesco art, which I know you haven't received yet, Logan. That's on me. I still have it. I'm sorry. I got to get that mailed out to him. But yes, he's got all his other prizes right now. So yeah, make sure to check that. Don't be a Randy. I've forgotten to check my team the last 2 weeks. So I'm officially pretty much eliminated from the competition. Is anyone here? Avery, Tori, I don't believe you're doing it, but Ollie, how are you doing in it?
I'm doing a placement. I'm doing better on the pro. I'm doing better on the prod draft fantasy. Let's just say that.
Oh my gosh. Well, just go ahead and now leave us a comment in the chat, everyone, for who it's the Q&A that I posted up. Who is getting eliminated tonight? You can either post it in the chat or post it in the Q&A, and we'll definitely get to it. But it's time to give our predictions as we are just a little over 20 minutes from the premiere of the episode 9 episode of Survivor 49. Tori, how are we feeling tonight? Like, where's your mind taking you? This could be about who's going home tonight. This could be about Eva's, journey. This could be about the challenge. Where's your mind taking you in terms of predictions this evening?
My mind is mostly on who's going home. I've been really wrong about this the past few weeks. Again, only because I think I've been wanting to constantly see a big move. And I get from a player's standpoint the need to vote certain people out when they do and make it just like a straightforward vote. But I'm really wanting a big move. I think what needs to happen in my mind is both Kyle and Shaheen, because they both have connections with Camilla. They all need to just like come all together, understand that they're all working together. Get Mitch and get Star. Star needs to realize that she's no longer really like, I don't know if she still thinks that she's with Eva, but I think she really needs to realize that that's not really a thing. Like they could be friends, but they're not really working together. Mm-hmm. So all of that needs to happen in order to get out a big threat. And I'm not sure yet which of those big threats it's going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. And Tori, I'm hoping you're right tonight. I want a juicy tribal council. I want to see someone, pull a Kelly and be like, what the hell, guys? Like, I want to see that. Avery, let's go to you because it's ladies first here. So Ollie, I'm going to make you wait. What are we thinking?
So I know mine. I'm going to agree with whoever said it earlier. I think David's winning the challenge. I think he's getting immunity. I saw the challenge, and I think that's something that he would win. Well, I didn't see the challenge. You know what I mean? The preview.
Yeah, the pictures. The preview pictures of yours.
I have two options I'm 50-50 on. If it's a big move, I think it's going to be Camilla. If it's not a big move, I think it's going to be Mitch. So I'm thinking it's one of the two. Camilla posted the challenge on Instagram. And I don't know. I saw it and I was like, I feel like it's going to be her or Mitch. So that's what I'm going to stick with. If it's a big move, I'm going to say it's going to be her. And they're going to just cut the head off the snake.
I don't like that. I don't want it to be Camilla. And I
Why?
don't want
in your draft? I don't remember.
No, I didn't draft. Yeah, Ollie is.
Sorry, Ollie.
Ollie has all three people left in the draft. And I feel like you're kind of nervous going into tonight, Ollie. I feel like you think one of your people might be going home.
I mean, I don't know. I got a feeling, but you guys know when I get feelings, I'm always wrong, and it's the complete opposite of what I think, which is why I know next season when I'm in the draft, it's going to be like everyone's going home, like first 3 tribals. Like that's going to be my draft.
Oh, just like Kara this season.
I was about to say, just like.
Yeah, it's literally going to be me like probably every season. So at least you guys won't have to worry about me in the draft.
I got to do the draft sometimes just so people stop giving me crap for not actually like participating. I'll have to have like Matthew or Ollie host and hop in the draft. Ollie, what are you thinking tonight? Are we going down the path of a big move, or is this going to be another, I don't want to say snooze fest of an episode, but last week's episode wasn't my favorite. I will
Straightforward.
Yes.
Straightforward. Yeah. I really don't know. I think there's been this thing of leading up to something, and you can see the factors. You can see everyone kind of sat there being like, yes, we want to have honor and integrity, but I have to play for myself. So that's what we're seeing. Am I nervous for the fact that obviously, like, yeah, I have a 1 in 3 chance of one of my draft picks going? Yeah. I don't know, because I feel like this particular promos, they've done a really good job at not really giving us too much. They haven't really given us a definitive point of look at this. The only thing they've kind of done is David's being David. That's standard. So it's like, what else? Yeah. So I really don't know. I feel like I'd have to kind of watch the first 5 minutes to kind of gauge it. Like that's where I'm at. I generally have no idea.
if you look at the people who would kind of be like, to an average Survivor viewer, the non-exciting boots based on edit, you would be looking at Mary, and Wild West said it earlier, Star, which love Star, and I'm mad that I forgot about Star again. And Mitch, would you say Mitch too? Mitch got a stronger edit beginning of the season.
Yeah, but I think in terms of when you say straightforward, you have Mitch, Camilla, and Star who are kind of not in this strong six. So if we're going off that surface level, those would be the straightforward votes.
Any chance we get a mind-blowing vote out tonight, which would, in my opinion, be a Kyle, Eva, or Joe? I think those three would be very
Kyle's possible.
I will say, and this is already from my social media snooping, there was a I need to find it now. There was an Instagram story from the lovely David. And it is the heartbroken face of a man who knows he has lost his number one. And that is him referring to Kyle, I believe.
I thought that too. And
that makes me think that, that's why I think something's going to happen, but I don't know what.
Right.
But I do feel like that was just giving us a tidbit.
Well,
Congratulations.
I do see Kyle as a possibility because last week he was being like so crazy about not voting Camilla out. I mean, the other 5 could literally look at him and be like, "Ooh, that's not a good sign. You're gone."
Was the thing that David posted, because I saw that too, and I commented like a little crying face. I thought that he was posting it like talking about last week though, saying like, oh, he realized like he and Kyle aren't as close as they thought. But I could be wrong. That's how I
It's a very cryptic thing. It is think of it how you will. We'll all interpret it different. I just feel like it might kind of be foreshadowing the crypticness of starting to see the fracture of the alliance.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and see what some of the fans are saying here. Jay adds in, Mary or Mitch. One of the M&Ms are going home tonight. Gabe adds in, Shaheen in the swing position goes with strong alliance duos, or flip to the side that's been wanting him out with Kyle and Camilla. So that'll be interesting as well. I just posted something on Instagram where we were lucky to have Franny on last week, along with Liz, who was on Got Something For You. But the kind of snippet that I posted with Franny, Tag with Kara and Franny, were kind of talking about that. Like, does Shaheen go with Kyle and Camilla? Does he get brought in to be this kind of power trio? Right. And then Jay adds in, Mary to defang David and punish him for how controlling he's being and lessen his power, per se. And Mitch, because Joe said a couple episodes ago that his threat level is too high and his story is too good. I think if there's one thing that we need to talk about this season, in terms of when we make our predictions, it's so many people have incredible stories this season. I mean, I remember when I was talking about, if Eva makes it to the end, I don't see anyone beating her. And I forgot that I had a couple friends, we were talking about that. And they said, you don't think that, someone put in the chat actually this, you don't think Joe could beat her with the, his story of, I'm out here doing this for my sister. Not saying he's going to use it as a sob story, but that might get brought up and be like, this is why I'm out here. And like, that is a very emotional story. Let's just say if Mitch makes it to the end, what he's gone through. We've already heard from Camilla and Kyle when they were on that Loggy 2.0 beach, when they were sharing their stories about what they've gone through. So many people have incredible stories this season. It might be a very tough decision once we get to the final 3 here in just a couple weeks, unfortunately. I think it's like 3 or 4 weeks.
That's crazy. I totally agree with people having great stories. It's been fun to hear all of those. I really have enjoyed that. I do kind of just touching on the Shaheen thing and like where he's going to go. I wonder when he's going to realize that because do we see him as at the bottom of the strong alliance? Because that's how I'm interpreting it. Like
with Joe?
Like I think he's at the bottom of the Joe alliance. Like he's number 5 or even 6 now, because I don't know how close Mary is with David or like where she's even at with that, because that really came out of nowhere. So I'm like, okay, how close
I think so.
is it really? So I wonder when he's going to realize that and think maybe I can be closer to the top of this other alliance over here.
Right.
So I
Yeah,
don't know if he would be number 5 in that alliance too. But that's kind of like the risk you take when you're kind of like playing the middleman. But I do wonder if he's going to jump ship. And again, this could just be wishful thinking. I think I just really want something to happen that we're like not expecting. That's going to be, you know, good TV. But we'll see.
Yeah. No, I could definitely see Shaheen being the swing vote, especially with it being final 9, 4v4. Shaheen right here.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that would make it super interesting. It should get good. And Jim and I put in the chat, will that be why Joe and Eva turn on each other? Both stories are so good. I don't see it. I don't see either one of them turning on the other person.
I literally feel like they have that connection alliance that's like, we are going to stick with each other until the end, and whoever wins wins.
I mean, yeah, we could be wrong, but excuse me, if Eva decides, you know, I do need to cut Joe, I know it's what's best for my game, that would be shocking to me. Like that would be
crying. I don't even know.
I think she might shed a tear. Joe might as well. But I feel like Joe would be the type of guy who stands up, walks over to her, hugs her, pats her on the back and says, "It's okay. Like go do what you got to do." Point blank, I would almost bet my entire life savings that Joe does not flip on Eva. I think it has to come from Eva's side of things. I mean, Joe's already said he'll sacrifice his game for Eva.
Yeah.
So.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So we don't have much time left. We're just over 10 minutes away from tonight's episode. Tori, let's kind of talk a little bit about this Atlanta trip before we put the nail in the coffin. We let it pass and everything. How much fun was it going out there, getting to see Ron Clark Academy and how magical that place was, and touch base on the Survivor event as well?
Oh my gosh. I mean, the school was insane. It was really something to see. I mean, I feel so blessed to have gotten to go do that and to have experienced it with such great people. It was just an unexplainable experience to see that school.
No, it was the highlight of the day. You had we got invited early on in the day to go see Ron Clark Academy, hang with the students there. We got to play some games with them out in the courtyard. We got to go see their classrooms. We got to see them learn. And then you had the Survivor party at night. And for me, it wasn't close. The best part of the day was seeing the school and seeing the smile on those kids' faces. If I could do it all again, and he said you can only do one, I would choose the school. And I genuinely mean that. It's not like, oh, Randy, okay, you're kissing up. No, like it's literally, it almost brings a tear to your eye. Like
I think everybody would say that too.
Yeah.
The kids were just, I can't even explain to everyone how outstanding these kids are. I mean, just the way that they shake your hand, the questions they ask, I mean, the level of conversation was better than I've had with most adults. It was so impressive.
And it's real. None of it is like the kids trying to put on a show. So they have this slide and you have to get slide certified. You guys might have heard of it before, and you have to go down the slide. And when I went down the slide, I lost my phone. So here I am in Atlanta, freaking out. And Tori will tell you, I was freaking out. If I could not find, I'm like, if I can't find my phone, I don't know how I'm going to make it back home, because I suck at directions. Like I need to be glued to my map. And so I'm like losing it. We're walking all over the school. And these kids, the moment they find out, they are jumping right towards trying to help me find this phone. And their manners are incredible. They have a passion for learning. At one point, Tori and I were asked to help the kids solve a math problem. I couldn't do it. These kids are absolutely brilliant. And it's something that I've never thought about teaching, but if I was to go and teach, I would love to work at Ron Clark Academy. Like it is just an incredible place. So once again, we want to thank Ron Clark. And we don't want to bring any disservice to the Survivor event. That was absolutely incredible as well. And to all the fans who were there in attendance, cheering us on stage, thank you for that as well. It was a fun experience. There's some things that we would do different next time, but it's a step for Survivor Now as a whole to get our first live show out of the way. And it was It was an incredible time. So just once again, it's the last you'll probably hear about it now. I know we've been talking for like a week straight. Thank you to everyone for bringing us out. All right. There's a couple things I got to get through before we end this pre-show here. The party does not stop with the episode tonight, because immediately following the episode, come right back here for the Survivor 48 after show. Myself, Josh, and Bruce will break it all down. Abraham is actually at Bryson Wynn Present in Texas, so he will not be here tonight. We're always traveling. So myself, Josh, and Bruce will be here to break it all down. And then tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time, join Jack and Josh. Or no, Will and Josh. Look at Ollie's face. Okay, Ollie, give me a break. Give me a break. There's a lot of people. Join Will and Josh for our stocks, our power ranking show. They do an incredible job each week, and I kind of spoiled the surprise. And the reason I said Jack, I'm hearing rumblings that Jack might make a guest appearance tomorrow, either tomorrow or next week. So for anyone who's missing Jack on Stockwatch, there's been some rumors he might be back on our screens in the next couple of weeks. And then Saturday, Ollie, take it away. That's your show.
Oh God, okay. It's got something for you. We go scene by scene, talking about everything, all of our theories, where we think it's going to go. And then we do a little deep dive into social media, see what's been happening, see all the twists and turns, all the shade, all the praise that's been going on there. So it's a good watch. Saturdays, 3 p.m. noon PEST.
Yeah,
8 p.m. UK.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, no, I'm kidding. It is an incredible show. Ollie, don't do it. I gotta finish the thing. Don't kick me off. And then Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific. Join Tegwith and Kara for Survivor Social. I was looking up who their guest is this week, and this week it is actually Brian Corden will be joining them from Survivor Guatemala. He will be there on Sunday, joining them to close out our week and recap the latest episode of Survivor 48. That does it for us. If you enjoyed this podcast today, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all of that good stuff. If you're a first-time viewer, welcome. You can check out all our information at survivornowpodcast.com. Don't forget to check us out on Blue Sky at Survivor Now Podcast, on X at Survivor Now Pod, or Instagram at Survivor Now Podcast. On Instagram, we are actually 30 followers away from 3,000, which is absolutely incredible. And we are we just hit 1.5K on YouTube, which I don't think I've had the opportunity to say thank you guys so much for your continued support as we continue to grow. Tori, Ollie, Avery, we got to go watch the episode, but is there any other last minute things you want to say? Oh, don't leave me hanging. Now it's just awkward.
Like
All
and
right.
subscribe. Love you
Yes,
guys.
yes. Listen to Avery. We're going to end on that. We'll see you guys later for the after show.